go ahead, get your bag of Skittles, lay down, chill out, breathe in, breathe out, because we're about to get into the story for today. The story for today is about how I wrote a choice word on one of my first grade friends' yearbooks. So, in first grade, I went to this school that was super strict, but it wasn't like it wasn't like any kids who were gonna bully you. It was a very bully-free zone, and I was the kid who was really different, but not like a special needs type of kid, just like the kid in the same classroom that shouldn't really be there. But anyways, I decided at the very last few days of school, I had my best friends that are actually still with me to this day, and some of them, I was trying to goof on them. Well, actually, it was one of them. So I was trying to goof on this one friend because the teacher had put all of our desks in a giant circle for the last day of school, and then we'd pass around each other's yearbooks that we had our own pictures from the earlier in the year, and then we would sign it with our names. And for when my friend's book was passed over to me, I was like, oh, I know it would be really funny, if I just wrote the F word and then not my name. And so then I did it, and I passed it to the next person. I guess they didn't notice or something, because it took until the teacher got past the book, because they were also in the rotation in the circle. And the teacher was like, hey, yo, who wrote the F word in this person's book? And, they were asking around the classroom, but they had a thought that it was me. Because, of course, I was that kid who would do some crap like that, knowing that it was, in the elementary school and first grade, and everybody else, well, some other kids probably didn't even know that word. So what happened was, the teacher saw it. She was like, hey, everybody, who did it? And then they started eyeing me. And then they brought me outside personally. And they were like, hey, kid, I'm not gonna get you in trouble. Just let me know. It'll be all fine. Just own up to it. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, I did it. And then they like immediately got this angry, aggressive face, like they were about to punch me in the face. They didn't, because, they're going to lose their teaching license if they try to do that. But they did grab me by the wrist, turn around, and then just start walking down to the principal's office. And I was like, oh crap, I'm about to get beat up. I'm about to get spanked by my mom. And then she was like walking there, and I was screaming, and I was like crying, screaming, talking to her like, I thought you were gonna like get me in trouble. And this entire time, she wasn't even talking. She was just like silently walking me down there. And then another teacher passed by, and she was like, hey, can you bring this one down to the principal's office? I need to go back to my kids. And the other teacher was like, yeah, sure, Becky, or whatever, what kind of the white mom teachers do. And so now this other teacher was walking me. I was trying to explain to her the situation, but she wasn't having it either. She just like kept on walking down there like it was no biggie. So then I'm down at the principal's office. Principal, me and him have spent more time in the principal's office than I did in the classroom, because this was before I was given drugs for my mental problems and stuff like that. So, they brought me into their room, and then I was in the waiting room, and like 10 minutes in, the principal brought me into their personal room. And what they would do is they would spend like the next 10 to 17 minutes just like on their computer typing something up. It's probably a report, or that it's waiting there to make you feel like more intimidated. And they were just like, they would like not talk to you. They would continue to look at their computer screen and forget about your existence. And then they would finally get away from their work, turn in the swivel chair to the seats on the side, and be like, so what did you do this time? Because the teachers would like rarely ever actually tell the principal why they're sending the students there. So I had to explain to him what happened. Oh crap, I just dropped my food. It's fine. So I had to explain to the principal what happened, and he's like, oh my gosh, because they were like, it was the last day of school, and they're like, oh, kid, you shouldn't have done this. It was the last day of school. You didn't have to do that and all that stuff. And I ended up actually getting suspended for the last day of school. But, he was like, "Oh, student," and then he made me call up my mom and tell her that I was sorry, and I was like, "Oh, dude, screw you." I mean, I didn't say that at the time because I'm a child, but I still said it to him mentally, and I did that, and I converted the "screw you" into whatever kind of first grader terminology I would say, and I think I said something about "I hate you" or something, and he was like, "Oh, please don't." And then, yeah, that's a really bad reaction to have when someone says that they hate you. But then again, I was some kid, so he didn't really care about me at all. And so then what ended up happening was my mom came. Well, actually, no, they let me stay in school, but I had to stay in the waiting room for the office throughout the rest of the day. And this is during one of the first parts of school because we didn't have any periods, so it was just the same teacher all day except for gym and art and all that stuff. So I had to stay in the office for the rest of the morning and afternoon. And then they put me on the bus. The bus driver went to all the other stops, went to my stop. My mom was there waiting for me at the bus stop. I walked down. She already knew what was up because I called her earlier. And she was like, "Why would you do this? Why would you do this, you idiot?" No, she didn't call me an idiot. But, she was doing basic mom vocal disciplining stuff. I knew when I get home, she about to bring out the Gucci belt. And then, everything was going to get messed up. But at the time, I was crying because I knew what was up. My brother was like, "Oh, what do you do? What do you..." Well, no. My brother was on a different bus. But he, was like, "Oh, yeah, what do you do?" And my mom was like, "Don't worry about it. It's none of your business." She brought me home. She spanked me for it. And then the next day I had to go to her work because I, got suspended for the last day. And it really sucked. But the F word was still on that person's yearbook because it was in Sharpie, and we were all writing it in blue, pink, and purple, whatever kind of Sharpie your parents bought you for the beginning of the school year. So that really sucked for me because I knew I screwed up and stuff like that. But anyways, that was the terrifying story about how I probably made some other kid pretty sad or something. The teacher probably whiteouted it. But anyways, it really sucked for me. I definitely wish I didn't do it. Y'all know that my first grader looking self shouldn't have been putting cuss words into someone else's. Well, it's actually one cuss word, one that starts with an F. I shouldn't have been putting that into another student's yearbook. But, it is how it is. I learned my lesson. And that has been Tony, or as you might call me, Joe isn't my name, because it's not. It's Tony. You guys, make sure you do whatever you want with this video. I don't care if you like or subscribe. I just really wish that you enjoyed the video. Do whatever you want with it. This is my only social media, apart from Snapchat, but I might just talk about that later. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace out.